Pope Francis has asked for forgiveness from Rohingya Muslim refugees for all the hurt they have endured, and pronounced the word Rohingya that he had so assiduously avoided only days earlier in Myanmar. In a touching encounter Friday, Francis greeted and blessed a group of refugees, grasping their hands and listening to their stories in a show of public solidarity. He apologized for the indifference of the world to their plight. The presence of God today is also called Rohingya, he said. The 16 Rohingya traveled to Dhaka from Cox's Bazar, the district bordering Myanmar where refugee camps are overflowing with more than 620,000 Rohingya who have fled what the UN says is a campaign of ethnic cleansing by Myanmar's military. The campaign has included the burning of Rohingya villages. Fleeing Rohingya have described rape and shootings by Myanmar soldiers and Buddhist mobs that left them no option but to make the dangerous and sometimes deadly journey through jungles and by sea to Bangladesh. The Myanmar government has denied any such campaign is underway. The army says clearance operations are targeting militants who attacked security positions in August. Myanmar's government and most of the Buddhist majority recoil from the term Rohingya, saying the members of the Muslim minority are Bengalis who migrated illegally from Bangladesh. Myanmar doesn't acknowledge them as a local ethnic group and won't give them citizenship, even though they have lived in Myanmar for generations. One by one, each one of the refugees approached the Pope at the end of Friday's event. Francis grasped their hands and listened intently as they recounted their experiences to him through an interpreter. He blessed one little girl, placing his hand on her head, and grasped the shoulder of a young man. The women who approached him pushed aside their headscarves so they could speak, offering their hands out for him to hold. "Maybe we can't do much for you, but your tragedy has a place in our hearts," Francis told them. His voice trembling with emotion, he continued, "In the name of all those who persecute you, who have persecuted you, and those who have hurt you, above all in the indifference of the world, I ask you for forgiveness. Forgiveness." Citing the big heart of Bangladesh that welcomed them in, Francis said, "Now I appeal to your big hearts, that you are able to grant us the forgiveness that we seek." He called for continued aid for the refugees, and continued advocacy so that their rights are recognized. "We won't close our hearts. We won't look away," he said. Francis had refrained from publicly raising the crisis or using the word Rohingya while in Myanmar out of diplomatic deference to his hosts. Human rights organizations and Rohingya themselves had voiced disappointment at Francis' public silence, given he had previously denounced the persecution of our Rohingya brothers and sisters at the Vatican. The Vatican defended it as diplomatically necessary, and stressed that his silence in public didn't negate what he had said in the past, or what he was saying in private. Prior to the Pope's comments, the Rohingya who had traveled from Cox's Bazar urged him to recognize their identity publicly.